Welcome to the Veterinary Marketing Podcast, where it's all about helping your veterinary practice attract, engage, and retain clients. Broadcasting a new podcast every Monday from sunny Southern California, here's your host, Brandon Bashirs.
Hey everybody, welcome to episode number 108 of the Veterinary Marketing Podcast. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen today. I really appreciate it. Today is an exciting episode because we're talking about SEO. And lucky enough to have Adam Greenbaum from WhiskerCloud.com. And his company is a custom web design company, and they really focus on structural SEO. So we're getting into SEO today. What makes for good SEO? What is SEO? Some common misconceptions. And it's very cool. He actually did a case study where he at random chose 500 veterinary hospital websites and then did an SEO audit on them. So we go over what he discovered in doing all of that research. It's a very, very cool episode. So I'll tell you a little bit more about that in just a second. First, be sure to subscribe in iTunes, though, if you haven't done so already. And also, please do me a huge favor to leave me an honest review. I would really, really appreciate it. If you would like to get the newsletter sent to your inbox every single week, you can go to veterinarymarketingpodcast.com, click that button that says Get Started, and get the podcast newsletter every single week sent out, filled with tips and tricks that will help you to be a better marketer. If you could also do me a huge favor, please be sure to connect on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Snapchat, wherever you like to connect. Every Monday I do a live show that's live streaming. You can ask me questions there. You can send me messages on Facebook. You can send me emails. However you like to reach out, just reach out. And I love hearing from listeners. If you ever need any help with anything, please don't hesitate to reach out. So I'd like to also mention this episode is being sponsored by snoutschool.com. Do you ever feel like you're wasting time with your veterinary hospital's social media efforts? Well, veterinary practice manager Danielle Lampert has put together a list of 5 awesome social media tools that every hospital needs to succeed. Danielle is dedicated to teaching veterinary hospitals to use social media via her website, snoutschool.com. So go to snoutschool.com/Brandon to get her list of 5 must-have social media tools now. You'll learn how to create professional-looking social media graphics. You'll save time by scheduling posts, and you'll find out where your clients are spending time online. Not only that, she's got great tips for getting your whole veterinary team to understand the importance of social media. So head on over to snoutschool.com/Brandon to get the 5 must-have social media tools for your practice today. That's snoutschool.com/BRANDON. All right, so let's get into today's episode. So we're talking to Adam Greenbaum from WhiskerCloud.com, and we're talking about specifically SEO. So SEO is something that's this big mysterious thing that I think a lot of people feel like there's definitely a lot of misconceptions. And I feel like a lot of those misconceptions are actually continued by the people that sell SEO services. So we get into a bunch of topics that are going to be very, very helpful for you as a veterinary practice owner, manager. If you're doing marketing in a veterinary practice, whatever your role is, it's important, I think, that you understand SEO. Even people who don't understand SEO, sometimes you feel like, well, I need to pay for something. I need to get some SEO done. I have to do the SEO. And that's thrown around all the time. What does that mean? We really dive into that. So we talked to Adam, and he tells us a little bit about how he got into the veterinary industry, which is pretty cool because he has a pretty similar background to me where he was in different industries but was attracted into the veterinary industry and now is focused on that. He does great work. You can visit his website, WhiskerCloud.com. If you guys talk to him, if you think, hey, I need a website, I would definitely suggest getting in touch with him because he's very knowledgeable and his websites look amazing. One thing that I didn't talk to him about that I'm bummed I didn't get into with him was he has this really cool system built into his websites that it allows your clients to download a shortcut that basically looks like an icon. So it's a mobile version of the site that can be saved onto the home screen of their phone, which is really, really cool. So if you are interested at all, go to whiskercloud.com. Be sure to tell him you heard about him through the podcast. That would be really, really cool if you could tell him that. So without further ado, here is my interview about SEO with Adam Greenbaum. All right, so today we have Adam Greenbaum on the podcast. Thank you so much, Adam, for being on the podcast. And he is from WhiskerCloud.com. So welcome to the podcast, Adam.
Thanks, man. I'm really excited to be here, excited to chat with you about everything that's going on in the veterinary world.
Definitely. So tell us a little bit about how you got into the veterinary industry. I know you're not a veterinarian, kind of like myself. So how did you get into the veterinary industry and how did you decide to start WhiskerCloud?
Yeah, absolutely. So I have a pretty extensive background in digital marketing. I was the head of digital strategy for LasVegas.com, been the head of marketing for a couple healthcare organizations and where websites are pretty bad as well. And I actually own one of the bigger advertising agencies here in Denver, Colorado. And, I moved to Denver. My family's been here for a long time, but I moved here a few years back. And I have two dogs that are my world, Sophie and Baxter, two awesome Boston Terriers. It was very interesting because it's like my first day here, immediately I think, well, I got to find a vet. And so you pull out your phone, you start going through websites, and, at the time, we're in the 2000s, we're in the teens of the 2000s. This is how it is. If you have a bad website, if you have a website that's not appealing, if it doesn't work, if it doesn't give you good information, I'm probably not going to ask you to take care of the two most important people to me in my life. So I had the idea that someone should really be helping veterinarians out. Fast forward a couple of years, I speak at a lot of conferences. I was speaking at a pet industry conference, and I just had a lot of vets coming up to me after my thing saying, man, I wish you could build a website for us. We don't like our website. It doesn't do this. It doesn't do that. And I said, well, why don't you just have your web person do that? And they said, well, it has to be within the skin or within the template. And it was pretty much that was the day. I said, you know what? I love this industry. Our vets, I have a rescue Boston Terrier who's had insane amounts of issues with allergies, and our vets have been so amazing. And I want to help this industry, and I want to move this industry forward. So we spent a year building WhiskerCloud. We built the cloud platform. We tested 100 different things. We tested 500 veterinary sites at random across the country. The funny thing is probably a good chunk of people listening to this, we probably looked at your website. And the results were so bad, whether it was bad code, not mobile responsive, broken links, broken pictures. It was just nonstop. And we published a case study with DAHA. We did some stuff with Veterinary Team Brief and DVM 360. And yeah, we launched WhiskerCloud. And, now we've got one goal, and our goal is really to offer an affordable solution, but that also gives veterinarians and practice managers and vet techs and everyone in the office, they need to have a website they're proud of, a website that their patients are happy to use, happy to refer. And when the thousands of people a month that are searching in any given city for a veterinarian, they need to find you on Google, and they need to be impressed by your website, whether they're sitting at the coffee shop on their iPad, or sitting on the couch with an iPhone, or sitting at their desk on a computer. They need to be excited about your website, because that's how you get more clients and more patients. So that's what we really focus on.
Definitely. And can you tell me a little bit about, you did a case study of 500 websites, which I love this idea. It was so cool. Can you describe that case study and then what you discovered?
Yeah, so just so you know, it's on whiskercloud.com/case-study. So we actually published it on the site. So we chose 500 websites at random, completely random. We did only United States websites, veterinary websites, and we basically evenly distributed it throughout the country, obviously giving bigger sample sizes to like Texas and California and Florida. And we just went through these websites and we put them through the same test that we used to build our websites. The first was, is it mobile responsive? So there's really two types of things. There's mobile friendly, which a lot of websites are. Mobile friendly means, sure, it works on your iPhone, but it's not really built to translate from your desktop to computer to your iPhone or your iPad. So we tested it for that. 90 out of 500 were what we consider mobile responsive. That actually changed the way they looked and felt, and a different experience from different device to device to device. So, that's 18%. So we found this stat from earlier this year, which is very true. It says 91% of people use their smartphone to find a service. So when you think about that, it's kind of crazy that you've got 91% of people out there who are looking for things like a veterinarian from their mobile device, and 18% of our sample size literally could not capture those 91% of people, 9 out of 10 people. because their website was not equipped for it. And that's, I mean, more than anything we took away from that case study, that's a very scary statistic for this industry. And to think about how many vets are losing money because of that was just mind-blowing.
Definitely.
So then what we did was, okay, SEO and analytics are huge. And I think SEO is a scary term, and I'm glad we're talking about it today because it doesn't have to be scary. And SEO is something, too, that I feel bad because veterinarians get sold on it. Well, you need SEO every month, and it's $700 a month. And I'll tell you, a lot of our clients that come sign with us, they're under contract or they're paying someone $500 to $1,000 a month for SEO. And here's the funny thing. If the time and effort is put in correctly when you build your site and then maintain properly, your SEO is going to be off the chart. So I know we're going to jump into that a little later, but I will say, like, as part of our case study, we tested those same 500 sites. Do they have any type of SEO integration, or do they have analytics? Are they tracking? So I believe it was 22%, 100 and something, I don't have it right in front of me, but it was 22% of them had either or. Very few had both. And I'll say, like, the ones who had SEO, we were quickly checking for, like, meta tags and some of the things that you put into the code. Sure, they were there, and we counted them, but I wouldn't say they were done well or correctly. So, again, another red flag for the industry. The funny thing was we tested for security on these sites. And what was interesting was only 2 of 500 of these sites had any type of security. Now, that's kind of crazy to think about, and I'm sure the average vet in Bloomington, Indiana, or Colorado Springs, Colorado, or wherever is like, why do I need security? Who wants to come hack my veterinary practice? But the point is, it's 2016, and we have malware, and we've got Trojan viruses, and we've got viruses who, you know, if someone in your office is on the back end of your website publishing a blog post or changing a picture, and they click a bad link from Facebook, all of a sudden your website's compromised, it's gone, it's down. So we host our sites on a cloud server, and we offer complete security. And it's been really funny. I hate to say it this way, but it's been true. Is like a sales tactic for WhiskerCloud is when we're doing demos with current vets, we'll pull up their site, and our developers will actually break into their site right in front of them and just say, hey, we just did that in 15 seconds with you watching. So if we could do it that quickly, what could any virus do that is built to break sites and take them down? So 2 of 500. Another obviously very scary statistic. And then finally, we checked site load time, something that probably 99.9% of veterinary professionals don't think about, don't care about, but that is incredibly important for SEO and incredibly important in general. So WhiskerCloud sites load at an average of 1.5 seconds on our cloud server. So we tested these sites, and we basically did 1 through 10 seconds and then 10 plus. Well, the average was over 10, so we left it as 10 plus, and that was across 500 sites. So when you're getting ranked for Google, Google says, we're Google, we're the number one place that people are going to search for something great. So we need to make sure we're giving them the best experience and the best options for what they're looking for. So if you're on Google on your phone, which all phones use Google as their default search engine, and you type in Denver Veterinarian, if your site is not mobile responsive, Google will not put you there because that person's on a phone and you are not mobile responsive, so you will not be giving them a good experience, meaning they will not put you there. So there's a big factor in that because obviously Google wants, you're searching for something, they want you to be able to find it immediately. They're not going to put a slow, non-mobile responsive site that takes 10 seconds to load. So that is why load time is just so incredibly important. I don't think a lot of people think of it, but it's actually one of the biggest factors in Google's ranking system for SEO.
That's awesome. So, I mean, that's just so much good information that you just shared with us. And that's something that I have never spoken about, but is totally important because with respect to security of your website. And so just a quick story, I've had websites in different industries that have been hacked, and then they put mail server software somehow so that it sent out millions of emails that were spam emails, and then it caused any email that I sent off of my domain to immediately be blacklisted, and so then I had to go through and get it unblacklisted, and it was just a big hassle. And so that happens. You don't think, oh, my little vet site is going to get hacked, but they use your server for sending out emails, and so it's crazy. But that's definitely a good thing to think about and talk about for sure. So I think that a lot of vets feel like SEO, and the way that they're pitched SEO in general is like, I'm going to do SEO. It's just like doing social media where you actively, are posting something, and there's somebody who has an ability to turn off or turn on a faucet of traffic that's called SEO. I mean, I was talking to a practice manager, and she was like, yeah, I just called my, I don't want to say the name of the company, but it was one of the, it rhymes with Vet Matrix, but she's going to call her rep because they need to get SEO better for this keyword, and they're going to get it this week or something. Anyways, I was like, it doesn't really work like that. Can you tell me? It doesn't. It's a lot to do with structure and good design and good setup initially, if I'm not mistaken. So can you tell us a little bit about what is SEO to you?
Well, and I'll tell you this too. I'm going to do my best to not get as nerdy as I probably could on this subject. But SEO is not, you're absolutely right. It is not a faucet, and it is something that I don't think a lot of people understand. And I don't just mean veterinarians. I mean people that actively sell SEO services don't know. So me also owning an advertising agency, owning WhiskerCloud, I completely understand that. The point is when you're building the site is the most important time to get the SEO right. Yes, later you can absolutely go back and make some updates, but the problem is your site's already been indexed with Google. So SEO is, and I'm going to do my best to not get too technical about this, there's a lot of things that Google does. There's a language that Google speaks. So when Google, every day, they have what's called spiders, which is funny because I'm very arachnophobic, but they crawl every website every day. And what they do is those spiders are pulling information, pulling structure, pulling data off the site. How fast is it loading? Is it mobile responsive? How many times are they using the keyword? Is it in the meta tags? What are the images called? Everything. And then it's going back and it's constantly taking that data and structuring its search engine rankings based off of what the spiders are crawling and getting. So,
gotcha.
When we build a site, from start to finish, our sites, it's funny because like a lot of our competitors in the space and a lot of other websites, when we were testing them, Google gives you like a mobile user-friendly score, which is very important for your SEO rankings, and most sites get anywhere between a 40 and 60, we found. And those are the ones that were technically mobile responsive, but again, not great. So we get, every site we've built gets a 99. I've never gotten 100. I don't know if they'll ever give us 100. The day I build 100, I might like send that particular veterinary office lunch for a year because that'll be amazing for all of us. But so we build them very mobile responsive according to Google's exact guidelines. We name every single line break. Every single image has the correct name for SEO for whatever terms we're going after. All of our text is under H2 and H3 tags. Now those tags, without getting too technical, are how Google reads text. So if you were to just type up text, because we encounter a lot of people who are like, yeah, our practice manager updates our site. And honestly, they do a great job at it. But the technical side of it is when you go in and you just change a paragraph or change a line here or there, yes, to you as you're reading the site, and to the people that visit the site, that looks right. But if you're not including these H2, H3 header tags that are actually telling Google, hey, come look at this, come read this, this is that keyword, we're very high on this, then it's not going to read it. So every image you upload, it's very interesting because every icon, every image, they have what's called an alt tag on it. That is how Google reads it. So an interesting stat I saw was like 38% of people actually search Google Images and not Google Search. So you think about that. So someone types in Denver veterinarian. Well, there's probably going to be pictures of veterinary offices or pictures that are on veterinary sites. So even when you upload a new image, it should be named correctly according to Google standards. So there's a lot more that goes into it, but the thing is, again, like what you said, which I thought was great, there is not this magic faucet. The point is, I mean, sure, you can do content and blog posts and social media, which will certainly give you bumps here and there in SEO, but really, when you build the site, if you build it according to these things, do your meta tags correctly. Meta tags are tags on the page that help you describe what the page is offering. That's how it shows up in Google's search engine rankings. If you do all those things correctly, if you put in the correct tags to tie it to your social pages, you're going to have a better SEO ranking. And I know, like, even me trying to like be as non-technical I can, I don't want to understate that it is a very technical thing to do. There is a lot that goes into having an awesome SEO plan for every single website, but it needs to be implemented while the site's being built, not after.
Definitely. And I think that's just a really good point in general, since Google is trying to serve up the most relevant results. And so you don't have to game the system by doing, the little tricks and tactics that are kind of the thing that's working right now, so to speak, that'll get you penalized in a little while anyways. Because at the end of the day, you're a veterinary practice in the town that the person is searching, so Google wants to serve these results up to people. And so if you just, I think, start from a structure standpoint where you get set up properly just from the beginning, you're exactly what Google wants to show up. And if you're doing just the right things structurally, you're going to be way ahead of anybody down the road when you start your content strategy and all those things like you're talking about.
That was perfectly said. Perfect.
So that's really cool. So what are some of the biggest mistakes in your opinion that practices are doing right now? So obviously mobile responsive is a cardinal sin for sure, but what else are people doing that is not the best right now?
Yeah, I think there's a couple things. I think there's a lot of people who will go read a quick article and say, oh, well, we just need the keyword on the site 500 times. So we have a lot of people. In fact, I did a demo last week. It was really funny because they came to us, and I don't want to give away their name, but I'll just say they had their name, the city blank animal hospital. And I said, do you realize that you have that term on your homepage 19 times? I said, why do you do that? And they're like, oh, for SEO rankings. I said, how long has your site been up? And they said, 5 years. So, of course, we typed in the city and put in, and you would think that's their name. Their name is literally the city animal hospital. You would think that, okay, they're coming up first. And they didn't. And I said, why do you think that is? Because do you think Google knows, okay, just because you put the word 18 times doesn't mean it's great, because then anyone trying to sell anything. I mean, if you were trying to sell golf clubs and I just created a website with my golf clubs at the top and just wrote golf clubs 10,000 times below it, doesn't mean I'm going to be ahead of, Nike and Callaway and everyone else and Ping. No, that's not how it works. Google they have two scores, and people don't realize this. And I don't think a lot of old school people in the SEO world know this. They have two scores. Number one is they score you on your ability to follow the guidelines that Google sets forth for high-ranking pages. Does your page have more than 300 words on it? Yes or no? What is the keyword density of the keyword you're going after? Meaning, against how many words are on the page, how many times have you used that keyword? And, again, they test you. The second test that's not sort of their guidelines is readability. They test your voice. They tell you, is this too passive of a voice? Is it too salesy of a voice? If you're too salesy, they knock you down. If you have too many ads, they knock you down. So the people that are going out there and sort of jamming their keywords into every sentence, they're getting penalized. It's actually hurting them. So what's funny too is we have a lot of people come to us who are with other companies in this space and want a new website and say, what's wrong? And I say, yeah, you don't need this word 10 times on your page. You probably need it 2 or 3 times, but you also need to offer value, because Google is not stupid. Google knows, okay, they're reading all of the text, all of the images, so they're reading, you're offering services, you're offering this. So Google knows, here's this veterinarian who has followed our guidelines with SEO, who has a mobile responsive site, who's with a proper host, because speed is such a big part of it, so host comes in. And they've done the right things, and they're honestly giving a good offering to the people of this city. They're going to be ranked number 1. And that's what we did. So like a really good example of this, the website is Doral, D-O-R-A-L, petcare.com. Doral Pet Care came to us, and they had I believe they were with VetMatrix before us. They were not ranked number 1 in their city, and their site was very slow, and they had duplicate content because what we had found out was that that company who was doing their website also does thousands of other websites and was posting the exact same content, literally verbatim, on everyone's site. So we built them a custom site, and what's really awesome about it too is we built in a custom video. So if you look at Doral Pet Care on a desktop computer, you see this big, beautiful, amazing video that loads in under a second on their website. And if you go look at the same site on your phone or iPad, it's a completely customized experience because the video was slowing it down so much that we put an image. They're near the beach in South Florida, so we added the image there. But after a week of being with WhiskerCloud, they are ranked number 1 on Google for Doral Veterinarian. And what's crazy about that is we built their site according to every guideline possible. And if you go through, I mean, if you go look at their homepage, very rarely will you see the word Doral Veterinarian on the site. I don't even know if it's on the homepage, but we did such a good job and stuck by all of the things that Google tells us to do, that we know to do. Obviously, they've got a secure site. They've got a fast site because it's hosted on our cloud server. The SEO is done correctly, and they're ranked number 1. And it wasn't about gaming the system. It wasn't about writing 500 blog posts or promoting 1,000 tweets to send traffic. It was literally about building their site the right way and doing everything correctly. And it's a beautiful site that we're just so proud of.
Very cool. That's very cool. So a quick question that I have for you. So you have these general search terms that you're targeting, likely in the structural type stuff that you're doing.
Yep.
Is that correct? And then would you say that doing the content and the blog posts and things, should that be the focus of the long tail keywords more so, or what do you think about that?
I do, and obviously, like, we offer social media plans and content plans because that is one of the things we focus on. It's one of those things. For instance, on almost all of our vet sites, there's certain blog posts that we try to do for everyone. Now, we don't write duplicate content, but one of the big things we've done is we write about pet-friendly activities in that city. Why? Because people have, 68% of households in the U.S. have a pet. So when you start typing in pet-friendly activities in blank, all of a sudden our stuff's going to come up pretty high. They're going to go to the site. They're going to say, wow, this is what a great site. Oh, man, this is a veterinarian. All of a sudden, now you've got them. They were looking for something else. They probably have another veterinarian, but if you have a beautiful website and you have this awesome content to offer and you've got these social pages, trust me, they'll follow you, and eventually you'll win them over as a patient. So that's something we're really heavy on. Is I do think content is a big part of it. I don't think writing content just to write content. I think tying it back into, making it personal about the hospital or clinic is just so important. It's one thing to say, here's a disease that your cat could get and be very careful about. It's another thing to say, this is a disease that's prevalent in this area. These are the things that we do to help you prevent it. If you're interested in learning more, contact us today.
Yeah, or a story about a specific client. I mean, you can be general. You don't have to name the client, but talk about a story and have pictures and make it personal. Totally agree. That's way better. Very cool. So how do people get in touch with you guys and WhiskerCloud, and what do you guys offer as far as helping practices, and how would be the best way for them to get in touch with you?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if you go to whiskercloud.com, you can learn a little bit about us. I mean, what we do is, hey, we build beautiful custom websites. It's really, I hate to put it that simply because I think we're such an awesome company and we have a great culture over here, and everyone, our clients are family to us. Me and Linda at Elgato Veterinary Hospital in Los Gatos, California, her and I spent 45 minutes on the phone laughing the other day. Me and Dr. Justin Harper have been designing a new logo for him, and we've been going back and forth over email. We just launched a new site, urgentvet.com, for Dr. Dobies in North Carolina, and what's great about him is, Dr. Dobies is getting ready to expand in South Carolina. He's doing all these amazing things, and he needed something where he didn't want just a website that he'd have to call and pay someone, $200 an hour to update. And he also didn't want to be stuck in a template, which is what most of our competitors offer. It's, well, sure, they're nice templates, but 10,000 other vets have that template. So for us, I understand that no company is like WhiskerCloud, and I also understand that no two veterinary hospitals are alike. So, we build websites that sort of showcase the uniqueness of animal hospitals. We host them in our cloud server. Our cloud server is incredibly amazing. It's so secure. It's so fast. Tech support, daily backups. Every site has its own malware and firewall scans. I mean, it's just incredible the things we're able to do. Our biggest package, which is still incredibly cheap compared to the other options out there, we can handle social media. We do awesome social media posts. We actually run everything through a program called Sprout Social, which gives us the ability to offer incredible analytics every month. So at the end of every month, we're giving these vets analytics because I don't think a lot of vets think about their practice in terms of being a business, but the fact is it's a business, and you need to know how much traffic did you have this month, where did it come from, what blog post did the best, so we know we can keep doing those, what Facebook posted the best, and what's going to actually help you grow. So yeah, I mean, we offer this awesome service at a really, really low rate. Right now we're doing a special offer where you get a free logo from our incredible designer. I mean, if you see some of the logos she's doing for vets, the logos these veterinarians are getting, not only do you have this beautiful website, you have a beautiful logo, all of a sudden you go from being this cute little veterinary hospital to an actual thriving, beautiful business. And that's really great. So yeah, we're at whiskercloud.com. If you go to whiskercloud.com/blog, we actually have great content. We added over 1,300 Facebook fans to our page in a week on Facebook. How do we do that? Well, we told everyone exactly how we did it. We talk about SEO. We talk about tips for Twitter and Instagram. We talk about everything, and we're constantly publishing new content as we move forward and discover new things. So, yeah,
very cool.
If anyone has any questions, tweet us, email us. Our whole team is really friendly and happy to help.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Adam. I really appreciate it. And we'll have to have you back on the podcast at some point when some new crazy Google update happens or something. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
So I hope that you enjoyed today's interview. I really enjoyed it. I feel like Adam is a solid marketer and he knows what he's talking about. So I really enjoyed speaking with him for sure. So again, it's whiskercloud.com. And if you haven't done so already, just a quick reminder, be sure to subscribe to the podcast on iTunes. And please, if you ever have any questions, comments, need help with anything, don't hesitate to reach out. I hope you have a fantastic week, and I'll see you on next week's episode.